it was a mongrel of a government. Today, we have a mongrel of a government.
Well done.
Today, as I issue an accountability statement and performance audit of Mr. William Ruto's administration in the last 4 years, it is not about personalities. It is about evaluating promises with performance, commitments with the delivery, and expectations with outcomes. Patriotic Kenyans, our constitution recognizes the presidency as an embodiment of national unity, deriving its authority and legitimacy directly from the sovereign power of the people. For this reason, the performance of any administration must always be assessed with honesty, fairness, and fidelity to the facts. Mr. William Ruto premised his manifesto with these words, and I quote, "On August 9, 2022, you'll be called to choose between two roads. One leads to constitutional democracy, institutionalized politics, and opening the doors of opportunity to the many."
Hey, so what's up? What's up? What's up? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling amazing. Your brother, him, Kiddy Studios. So, Gachagua called Ruto's presidency imperial and accused him of a 360-degree about turn from his 2022 promises. Do you think this is a fair assessment or political theater? He labeled the Hustler Fund a failure, and has it actually helped ordinary Kenyans in your experience? Was it always going to underdeliver? He tied his criticism to police accountability and claimed officers accused of killing civilians were arrested then released. How seriously should we take that claim without more evidence? Okay, what do you think about Gashago's claim? So Gachagua is really a huge political figure now in Kenya, and for sure, William Ruto cannot win the election for 2027 unless metamorphically, unless the heavens rains biscuits and milk. Like he's really unpopular in the country now. But personally, I don't think he's going to win. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I can't move the mountain with one opinion, but you tell me what you think in the comments. So let's continue here what Mr. Gachagua aka Ricky G is saying to the people, man. Let's get it.
The other takes us back to the imperial presidency, deeper into personalization of power, and the inevitable and predictable end of economic apartheid that we see so often around the world. The power is in your hands, close quotes. When he was presenting this choice, little did we know that he was presenting the latter. Today, we have an imperial presidency, economic apartheid, and power under a ruthless dictator. Fellow Kenyans, Mr. William Ruto committed himself to building a secure, just, and democratic Kenya founded on the Constitution and the rule of law. He promised to professionalize the National Police Service, safeguard human rights, protect every Kenyan regardless of political affiliation, strengthen the administration of justice, and ensure the security agencies remained accountable to the Constitution. He further pledged to guarantee every Kenyan the freedoms enshrined in Chapter 4 of the Constitution of Kenya. On this
let me put this one into play. This guy has failed this country massively, man. Massively, my boy. But that's just my opinion. But your boy has failed, but ameanguka mtihani.
Mr. William Ruto has done a complete 360-degree about turn on his covenant, and I'll proceed to summarize a schedule of injustices against Kenyans and foreigners. The Republic of Kenya is in a state of lawlessness and anarchy. In 4 years, William Ruto has achieved the unimaginable. There is total breakdown of law and order. Goons have taken over the legal mandate and the role of the National Police Service.
First of all, in that context, your boy has, like, this guy has come from rags to riches, my guy. He's not from a wealthy family, He's just he was supposed to represent the common man from the grassroots, like the guy who's in the village, who's supposed to dream about keeping chicken and getting out of the hood, coming into Nairobi and making a life out of for themselves. But personally, he was a student of the late Daniel President Arab Moi. So, and based on how people voted for the guy in 2020, the first time he was running with the whole, the guy really looked promising, but him is the one who is representing the hustlers, my guy. The guys who are down there, my guy. This is the same guy right now who's playing around in choppers, But anyway, he's the best president Kenya has ever had. You know what I'm saying? He's the cream of he's a professor, man. My people, he's a professor of botany. A professor of botany. Oh my god. I swear, in Kenya, it's just you listen to when you listen to grown-ups in Kenya, you just wonder. I'm not we understand where Kenya is from and where it has come back, but once you understand the nitty-gritty, like we know Kenya has a long history, but yeah, let's get into the video here. How many things, Your Excellency, Your Honorable, the Extinguished, the Indomitable, the High-Ranking, who do we call him? The Eloquency, yeah, the presidency. Let's hear the presidency. What has the presidency done for the dear country? Let's get it.
The CS for Interior, the PS for Internal Security, who are duty bound to secure Kenyans and their property, are the key planners and financiers of goons in the country. The rule of law has been suspended in the country. The DCI Director, Mohammed Amin, has been deployed by William Ruto to provide cover-up of extrajudicial killings and abductions in the country. I've just been told that the two police officers who were mentioned in the death of Dr. Victoria Mutiso.
I have to first of all say allegedly. My people, allegedly. YouTube kindly allegedly. This is from a channel. This is Gachagua who is saying so from my case, and my people is allegedly. Alright, let's go on to the video.
They were arrested and released on orders of Kipchumba Murkomen. They were never taken to any police station. I've just now, on my way here, been informed that the DCI has facilitated their relocation to our neighboring country, Uganda. Goons have become...
Man, when you hear all of this in Kenya, you just go like what? Who is even, But in Kenya, I've stayed 30 years in Kenya, and personally, I did not vote in the last election because I knew this kind of rhetoric is going to build up. I'm really keen on why I've taken an interest in the Kenyan elections, because I'm really keen to know what kind of these leaders apparently think that the younger generation mean nothing. So I personally want to see how far they want to take the young guys for a ride, because this is a sweet ride. The whole population is being taken on a ride, and like they're enjoying it, man. They're the top of their game, man, and they're enjoying it. So we can't blame them. The Kenyans have put these people into power. They're literally giving them money to go spend. You can't believe this. Like it's amazing. You're giving somebody a script, you're funding the movie, and you're watching the movie play out in real time. The Kenyans even are not complaining. Hmm? They're like, wow, like this guy has bought a chopper today, this guy has flown with the chopper, this guy has, oh, wow, 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 wow. Kenyans are exalting these politicians for how they're taking their money. So personally, this is what I say. I have never voted in Kenya because I see how these politicians take the mass population for a ride. But in this coming election, I would really love to vote and put my vote out there because this is going to be the biggest show I've ever seen in my life. This is even bigger than a Netflix series. The production is over 5 years, budget over 3-4 billion. You know, like this is the biggest Kenyan film we have. 2027 Kenyan election. This like, everybody is watching, man. So yeah, it's a whole spectacle. There's all pomp and glory. People are buying dresses. People are making clothes. It's crazy. It's crazy. All for someone to be given money for them to take the money for the next 4 years, 5 years, or the next 10 years. So it's crazy. Kenyans are amazing. I can't believe this. So let's continue to hear how things are going down. So kindly like, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments. I truly do appreciate your boy Baham Keys to you.
Part of the command structure, rank and file of the National Police Service. It is now common to see goons being escorted by the police to carry out criminal acts against Kenyans. This was evident in the PCA Mweki attack, Kariobangi PCA attack, and ACK Witima church attack. In fact, Mr. William Ruto carries out his development tours in Nairobi, accompanied by goons. Case in point, it has been witnessed repeatedly. The plan promised that no Kenyan will be evicted without following the due process of law and, where applicable, compensation. Unfortunately, over the last 4 years, Kenyans have not been spared the wrath of Mr. William Ruto's brutal regime and have been violently evicted from their homes and business premises. Mr. William Ruto has established an assassination network in Kenya to deal with political dissent and to assist Kenyans having an issue with one another to eliminate those.
First of all, this is what I'll say. Not everybody believes in God, but this is what I'll say personally. Ruto was given an amazing chance. This chance that he was given he was supposed to elevate the lower cadre of the population into a manufacturing class. Like he had all the machinery, he had all the time. Like he's been into power for the last 9 years, and maybe even more than. But right now, after the first 4 years of his first tenure, he's now like wow, like so. Man, you can't really blame someone. You wasted the chance. So let's continue to hear. And he removed Rigiji from power. So first things I'll say, Rigiji, I believe you're on the good side, but you're also dining with a guy. Me, I'll be honest. So that's why me have I believe Rigiji is fighting for the Kuyos and Kikuyus, and it's okay, it's right, but at the same time, the whole country also needs needs unity. So you have to.
For example, in the 2024 During the Gen Z and Sabasaba protests, the government told us that guns were stolen from Kikuyu police station. The truth of the matter is that no guns were stolen. They never left the police station. Those guns were removed from the police records to be available to goons and rogue police officers to carry out illegal attacks and assassination of Kenyans. Look at the classic example of Dr. Victoria Mutiso, who was assassinated on 19th July 2026, and lawyer Matthew Chalo, Bob, on 9 September 2025, by senior police officers in a feud related to personal property. This heinous murder was planned and executed by police officers from Kikuyu police station. This police station, as I've said, is a crime scene and an assassination empire. This is a situation in 4 years William Ruto has achieved to put up an assassination team available for hire by Kenyans who may want to eliminate other Kenyans. Rachel Wandeto was doused with petrol on the allegation of having a tattoo on her breast. CS Kipchumba Murkomen and IG Douglas Kaja visited her in hospital. William Ruto vowed that the killers would be arrested. They said her death was motivated by certain political leaders. The scheme was planned and orchestrated by CS Murkomen and a nominated senator. Despite William Ruto having instructed that the killers be arrested, 3 months down the line, nobody has been arrested. Nobody will be arrested because she was killed by the police. The Reverend Dumia Kariuki of PCA Nakuru, a vocal church leader.
Rigathi comes with a lot of tea onto the table and he drops it, man. So this is a huge story. Okay, Rigathi has his heart is in the right place because he know who he was dining with, you know. So, and first of all, Rigathi was in the system. His chest is okay. He has the stories, but what I'll say, he's like the Robin Hood right now. He's taking from the rich and bringing it to the poor because he has no other option. You see, he messed up. He sold the Ruto dream to the country, and now he has to fix it because, yeah, you know, you just can't let things go down the drain. So you can hear the things that Rigiji is saying on live TV, bruh. Like, these things are just, you know, when you hear these things, you're like, what? You're like, So this is just a Kenyaji submission. You know, like you know, in Kenya, if you speak kind of so freely, hey, things are not that. They're gonna come for you, bro. So I gotta keep it on the road. So let's get it, man.
Was killed.
Let's get it.
By Nairobi Sierra, a squad formed by Kipchumba Murkomen to intimidate the PCA church to agree to sell their properties in Mombasa, Nairobi, Kajiado to William Ruto. The U.S. State Department, Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights, and the Independent Medical Legal Unit have documented over 700 cumulative cases of extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances across Kenya since late 2022 when William Ruto came to power.
So 700 cases. You had 700, not all of them, but you can hear 700 cases, bruh. And that is the case. That is the guy people are saying, you know, like they're going to vote for. I have no problem. If you're a guy who believes in Ruto, that's your right. You have every right to believe in him. Yeah, like even you know, when you see my YouTube channel, you see like guys talking about Freemasonry and all of that thing. I believe like everybody has their own place, you know. So I'm not advocating for anything, but just personally for me, like a lot of people feel his vibe. not a lot, but some people feel his vibe. Me personally, Ruto, mm-mm, mm-mm, bruh, it has never resonated with me from the time of that hotel. Like this guy, just like you go like, what the hell?
And with, of course, notable surge tied to the 2024 Gen Z protests, where 60 young boys and girls were killed. Mr. William Ruto, it is also important to note that alcohol and drug substance abuse is on a record high in the country. And the climax was when William Ruto appointed two known drug barons into his cabinet. William Ruto has therefore deliberately allowed the menace to grow in sections of the country that are not politically aligned to him. While serving as the country's deputy president, I ensured and chaired a multi-agency stakeholder meetings across country to exhaustively examine the root causes, extent, and impact of this growing disaster, with an aim of offering solutions. The initiatives were aimed at informing major government policy, measures, and prescribing interventions and actions to address alcohol and drug demand reduction, supply suppression, and harm reduction. Under my leadership then, I strengthened the intergovernment collaboration, and coordination in fighting alcohol, drugs, and substance abuse. I proposed several amendments of
Alcohol.
national and county legal provisions on alcohol and drug control, coordinated and multidisciplinary licensing regime of alcoholic outlets where all stakeholders were involved, and proposed the establishment of county treatment and rehabilitation centers. I held high-level engagement sessions with the judiciary to fast-track alcohol, drug, substance abuse matters before then. William Ruto's 4 years have achieved unwarranted, excessive availability of drugs to our young people, killing them and leaving others as zombies. I'm confident that on August 10, 2027, we will revisit this program and eradicate this vice in totality. The following are some of Kenyans who have been abducted and disappeared recently. Mark Million Carey, he was abducted in Nairobi. Michael Olo, abducted in Nairobi. Families wept in the Milimani High Court demanding his release. His last location was along Kagudo Road. Evans Omondi, abducted alongside Olo and Carey. Abdulaziz Duba
Evans Carey.
Molu, alias Zizo.
You know, like the worst part, these are real people, man. You know, so I believe the boy should really improve his game. You really have the money, bruh. That's what I believe. You really like you already have the money. You know, like surely, like you really want to rule Kenya for like 20 years or something. I mean, 10 years. That like, how much money is enough, bruh? Okay, that's just my sentiment. You can do what you want, man, because this person just 10 years. Who is giving you 10 years? Who?
Abducted in Kiamaiko on June 23, 2026 by armed individuals in civilian clothing and police uniforms. Davis Lichuma, a rights activist seized by the masked operatives outside Parliament, later traced to a hospital heavily battered. Omwancha Clifford Evans, listed among the recent abductees by local human rights groups. Manyura Morisori Douglas, still missing following a wave of clandestine security enforcement operations. Jimmy Mtava Mwanzi, abducted in Mlolongo, not seen to date. He was abducted at the instructions of DIG Langat. Dennis Chege, an activist who was said to be involved in the Gen Z protests, vanished and remains completely unaccounted for to date. Brian Stigo, a Nakuru fisherman, who mysteriously went missing in 2022 under similar contested operations at Lake Nakuru National Park. The plan promised Kenyans that the National Coroner Service Act of 2017 will be amended to establish the Coroner General's Office. The objective and aim of this amendment was to remove the burden of investigating suspicious and police action deaths from regular police channels and DCI. Further, the amendment of the Act was aimed at removing potential conflict of interest and ensuring absolute transparency in handling and explaining deaths and forced disappearances or fatalities resulting from the law enforcement operations. 4 years later, this promise has not been fulfilled. National Coroner Service Amendment Bill 2026 was officially published in the Kenya Gazette on April 16, 2026, and received by the Directorate of Legal Services in July 2026. It is currently at the introduction and pre-reading stage in the National Assembly, awaiting formal first reading and committal to the relevant departmental committee. Mr. William Ruto has also facilitated acts of transnational repression against foreigners in Kenya. More specifically, on July 24, 2024, 36 Ugandans, members of a Ugandan opposition political party, as part of a joint Kenya-Ugandan security agency operation, and were forcibly returned to Uganda. On October 18, 2024, 7 Turkish asylum seekers were abducted in Nairobi by masked men. Kenya later confirmed it forcibly deported 4 of them to Turkey in a joint security operation, citing bilateral ties, drawing severe condemnation from the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and Human Rights. On November 16, 2024, Kiza Bisinje, leader of another Ugandan opposition party, was kidnapped by Ugandan agents while visiting Nairobi. Kenya government officials claimed they were unaware of the abduction, but the Ugandan authorities maintained it was a coordinated action between the two governments. Tanzania journalist and human rights activist Maria Sarangi was on Sunday, 12 January 2025, almost abducted here in Nairobi. Prominent Zimbabwean constitutional lawyer and human rights defender Brian Kagoro was detained and deported from Kenya on February 22, 2026. Intercepted by immigration and national intelligence officers at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, he was held for over 10 hours and subsequently put on a flight back to Johannesburg, South Africa. In March 2026, 2 officials from the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation were deported from Kenya amid a high-stakes dispute that arose in Kenya shillings 30 billion Kenya Railway city tender. Upon seeking a statutory review of the procurement process, William Ruto and Kipchumba Murkomen deported the complainants' local agents, clearing the way for their preferred entity, China Road and Bridge Corporation CRBC, a company that has bagged procurement tenders worth 1.2 Kenya trillion since 2022 when William Ruto came to power. China Road and Bridge Corporation is the international conduit for corrupt proceeds in Kenya under the personal and direct supervision of William Ruto. I must say Kenyans are not like South Africa. In March 2026, 2 officials from the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation were deported from Kenya amid a high-stakes dispute that arose in Kenya shillings 30 billion Kenya Railway city tender. Upon seeking a statutory review of the procurement process, William Ruto and Kipchumba Murkomen deported the complainants' local agents, clearing the way for their preferred entity, China Road and Bridge Corporation CRBC, a company that has bagged procurement tenders worth 1.2 Kenya trillion.
Hey, oh yeah. So, hey, you can hear what your boy is saying. He's saying the guy was given 30 billion. Hey, it's 30 billion what from the Chinese guys. So, and the Chinese guys were given a tender for 1.2 trillion. So, that's how Kenya works, apparently, allegedly. So, allegedly, that having said allegedly, as in, and then you can see members of parliament coming out to the telly saying, like, manze, this guy, these Chinese guys were never deported, bana. So this money is for Kenya, man. So this money, everything is okay, bruh. Like the same MPs who grew up listening to these stories have fallen into the same thing, and now they're prepared. It's just a laughing matter. As in, you can't, like, this is just a laughing matter, to be honest. This is just like to see grown-ups behaving like this in my lifetime. Like, I thought things are gonna be different. Like, I'm gonna tell my children, like, this is how Kenya is. Like, let's continue to hear. So apparently the 30 billion Ricky G is talking about and the 1.2 trillion is false. You can hear it's false, my guy. Hmm? That Ricky G is coming here to blab about nothing. He has just woken up and said Ricky G is not a saint, but I believe Ricky G was chased out of parliament because he could not. When he was there, he was eating. Now that you cannot lie. But the thing is, why did God chase him away from the crew? Hmm? Set a thief to catch a thief. So let them air their things out in public and let us hear the tea. Because this is money that a normal Kenyan, you know how much 30 billion Kenya shillings is? How much 1.2 trillion Kenya shillings is? You're taking it as if that money means nothing. 1.2 trillion Kenya shilling. It means nothing. How much money has been pilfered, has been taken from the Kenyan public coffers is just unfathomable. And to this date that I am in, it is dead and it is just going. So, and apparently the political class are so happy about this. So we are continuing to indulge in the happiness. We are continuing to show how they are benefiting from all of this, allegedly, because they can't, you can. So them, that's life. So in Kenya, that's the thing is. So let's hear Rigiji. So Rigiji, when he's talking, he's just coming to say, like, this is how things is, and he's feeling, my guy. So let's hear.
Since 2022, when William Ruto came to power, China Road and Bridge Corporation is the international conduit for corrupt proceeds in Kenya under the personal and direct supervision of William Ruto. I must say Kenyans are not safe, our children are not safe, investors are not safe, tourists are not safe, no foreigner is safe. And I must say, foreigners, investors, tourists, your own security starts with you. I ask the members of our development partners and foreign embassies accredited to Kenya to ensure that their staff and citizens are safe within the boundaries of Kenya. On protecting the liberties
So let me just keep quiet.
enshrined in
When you listen to Rigiji, you will get blood pressure. Guaranteed, you will get blood pressure, my G. You will get blood
our
pressure.
Constitution. William Ruto has breached the freedom of expression in Article 33 and the freedom of media in Article 34, Constitution of Kenya 2010. On 26 June 2026, 4 police officers from the dreaded killer squad, armed with AK-47 assault rifles, attempted to abduct the Standard Group Nakuru-based associate editor, Mr. Alex Kiprotich. This attack is a defiance to truth and total on the freedom of media, as stipulated in.
So there's something I would want to ask maybe somebody who's watching this. Does it mean that when we watch the news and we see what is happening, are we supposed to close our eyes in Kenya? Like, what are we supposed to do? Because I would really love someone to tell me. Most of the guys in government, because they're the ones who actually sponsor the news stations and so what is the general public supposed to do when they see this kind of thing from Rigathi? What exactly is the common man supposed to do? Hmm? After hearing that 30 billion has been stolen, what is the common man supposed to do? Hmm? Clap for you and say that wow, wow, like this is such a good gesture you have done. 30 billion is very good. That's how Kenyans politicians are supposed to be. Like, thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. You have taken our money. Mheshimiwa, Mheshimiwa. Thank you much for taking our money. Mheshimiwa, 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 Mheshimiwa. Hey, bruh. You're tripping for in Kenya, man. Mheshimiwa, Mheshimiwa.
Article 34 and 35 of our Constitution. In the last 4 years, several media houses, including the Nation Media Group, the Standard Media Group, Media Max Network, and several journalists were subjected to online campaign and disinformation campaign by the government of William Ruto. Reports show that 24 cases of violence towards journalists were recorded during the 2024 Gen Z protests. The Kenya Kwanza Covenant pledged to root out corruption, guarantee financial autonomy for key oversight bodies, and enforce Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya on leadership and integrity. Mr. William Ruto has broken this covenant to the people of Kenya and instead orchestrated outright plundering of the country's resources for his personal benefit and enrichment. On 31st December 2024, Mr. William Ruto was ranked as the second most corrupt president in the world by the Organized Crime and Report.
Guy, man, you cannot make this. You cannot make these things up. Can you hear what Rigathi is saying, my G? Huh? Like, it takes a lot of heart to hear all of these things and then go like, you know what? These people don't know what they're saying. These Kenyan people don't know what they're saying. Rigathi doesn't know what he's saying. The public sentiment does not even know what they're saying. Like, what do you mean that the public is complaining? I am the El Presidente. I'm the guy. I'm the guy, my people. What are you saying? I'm the guy. So, have you heard what Rigathi has said? I'm not even making these things up. Allegedly, let me put allegedly also. But on context, he's the most prayerful president Kenya has ever seen. Like, this is amazing, my guy. This is amazing. You have the best president in Kenya. In the whole of Kenya is going to be a first world country. You can't believe a first world country. Kenya is going to be in the big leagues, man. Kenya is going to be in the big leagues.
Project. Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index ranked Kenya number 130 out of 108 countries globally, with a score of 30 out of 100, reflecting persistent stagnation and public mistrust. Mr. William Ruto's administration has entrenched corruption as a way of life, and it remains systematic, pervasive, and deeply rooted in public service delivery and high-level governance. Mr. William Ruto's Western Hotel has been the leading recipient of government hospitality and catering tenders, securing 37 public contracts valued at hundreds of millions for the period ending June 2026. Contracts have come from state corporations, state departments, and county assemblies.
Oh, yeah.
It is clear that William Ruto is in competition with 108 countries globally, with a score of 30 out of 100, reflecting persistent stagnation and public mistrust. Mr. William Ruto's administration has entrenched corruption as a way of life, and it remains systematic, pervasive, and deeply rooted in public service delivery and high-level governance. Mr. William Ruto's Western Hotel has been the leading recipient of government hospitality and catering tenders, securing 37 public contracts valued at hundreds of millions for the period ending June 2026.
My boy, 36 contracts, government contractors in your hotels. Hey, I'm telling you. And the normal Kenyan is wondering, like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna make it, man. This is my time. President William Ruto is in the power. He's gonna elevate me into he's gonna give me riches, man. President William Ruto. Yeah, he's the president. My boy, you're supposed to scratch your head properly and ask yourself, like, are you using your full capacity of your head? I have dreadlocks. Personally, in in Kenya, when you have dreadlocks, okay, you're kind of perceived in a different kind of light. But to hear all of this, you know, like taking of public offers, and you're just supposed to, you know, like Meshimiwa, you know, like I'm so happy your hotel that the land was taken from like a primary school. You're so happy that the hotel that the land was taken from a primary school now has more than 36 contracts in government. Like, I'm so happy for you. Oh my God, Mr. President. Congratulations. I'm so happy for your hotel. Oh my God. You know, this is so much development in Kenya. You know, the Western Hotel has all these contracts. This is good. This is so much development. Yeah, this is what we are waiting for. This is now how the hustlers in Kibra are now coming up. Man, this is just like, thank you, William Ruto. Now this is the way. Now this is how Kenya is supposed to be built. You know, those contracts in West. That's the way Kenya is up. That is the perfect way. Thank you, Mr. President. You know how to work this country. Everything on lock. So all of these are the achievements the president has made because he's the president. You know, he's the guy. He's the one taking the hustlers from the bottom to the up. You know, he's the bottom up. Kenya is going to be a first world country, man. First world country, man. So let's get it. We're seeing Kenya in the first world country status.
Contracts have come from state corporations, state departments, and county assemblies. It is clear that William Ruto is in competition with local entrepreneurs, where he flexes his executive powers and gives priority registration that enriches himself and his cronies at the expense of other hardworking Kenyans.
No. I want to correct Mr. Rigathi. He's not enriching himself. He's giving Kenyans the opportunity. You know? If we see him grow, even us, we grow through osmosis. That's the way Kenya is supposed to be built, my guy. Like, why are you having feelings, Rikichi? Rikichi, like, be happy for your friend, Mr. Ruto, man. Rikichi, he's doing well for the country. Rikichi.
To bring to the attention of the people of Kenya some of the biggest scandals that we have witnessed in the last 4 years. In the current financial year.
So these are some of the biggest stories. These are some of the biggest best stories, like in Kenya, like these guys have. These are some of the good stories, because if you see their bad stories, they're going to come for you, man. So these are some of the best stories, yeah, in Kenya. These are what the government people want us to celebrate. So let us get into them. Kenya one.
State House budget has grown from Kenya shillings 8 billion to 18 billion Kenya shillings.
Wow, congratulations. The State House budget has raised from 8 billion to 81 billion. Congratulations. Congratulations. We want to see that's a very, very good job. Those chapos, watermelon, doing functions, money hand. Very good. Kudos to that one. Let's continue.
An increment of over 10 billion shillings. These are the funds that are used to bribe the people of Kenya. Lately,
good.
sheikhs, private security officers, village elders, teachers, chiefs, etc. Under the e-citizen, a special audit report by the Office of the Auditor General exposed major financial and governance weaknesses, noting that over Kenya shillings 11 billion in collections lacking clear documentation or routed through none.
There's no lacking of 11 billion. What do you mean lacking of 11 billion? How can 11 billion go missing? What do you mean, Ricky G? No, the money is there, Ricky G. It's just that it was not highlighted. You know what I'm saying? It was not highlighted. Ricky G, let's continue, Ricky G.
Designated accounts alongside irregular payments to private entities. The functionless chief system was procured at a cost of 104 billion Kenya shillings, and an independent assessment of this system shows that it is worth 800 million.
So, a chief system for healthcare in Kenya was bought for 104 billion Kenya shillings. My guy, this is where money well spent. Ricky G, this is money well spent. Don't say that 104 billion Kenya shillings. What do you mean? Huh? This is good. Like, this is good money put into good ways, into good use. Can you see the shift is working? Everything is working. So Ricky G, like, everything is working, man. So let's continue and hear the achievements of our honorable, distinguished excellency, key of commander forces, the biggest one, the biggest hustler of the biggest hustlers. So let's listen to the hustler of the hustlers. Let's listen to the hustlers' records of achievements. Let's listen.
Leaving theft and plunder of public resources of 103 billion Kenya shillings. SHA makes a loss of 6 billion shillings a month. Hospitals and faith-based organizations and counties are owed 105 billion to date. As I've said before,
so counties are owed 105 billion, and State House is supposed to get a lot of money. So it is very important for State House to get all this money, and the counties are not supposed to get this money, because if they get this money, like, why are you getting money? And the State House needs money. Chapos, watermelons, chai, mandazi, sweets, money for, like, these things are important, guys. These things are important. You cannot leave the State House without mandazi and chapos. What do you mean? Get your priorities right. How can we not have chapos and chai and mandazi in the State House? What do you mean? Let's continue to hear.
SHA is insolvent and everybody knows it. On the affordable housing program, the Office of the Auditor General reports that have flagged major legal and operational risks regarding fund utilization, including untraceable international development loans, low fund absorption, and missing land ownership documentation for ongoing projects. Further, the levies deducted from Kenyan pay slips are invested in a third-party financial service firm licensed by the Capital Markets Authority. How are their fees determined? How much has been paid out to date? What is his association with William Ruto? On the restoration of Nairobi rivers, Mr. William told Kenyans that on December 25, that Nairobi River will have fish. Can members of the press visit this river tomorrow and bring us one piece of fish?
Okay, so now, President William Ruto said Nairobi River is going to be clean and people are going to be swimming and eating fish from that river. So, as of right now, I believe there's fish, and I think there's tilapia, Nile perch, those even octopuses, like some good calamari from Nairobi River, bro. Like things are good in Kenya. Like things are thriving, man. What are you saying? In Kenya, everything is just amazing. Huh? Kuna matara, bro. In Kenya, everything is working.
This government committed itself to protecting public assets, strengthening governance, eliminating corruption, and ensuring that public resources would be managed solely in the interests of the people of Kenya. It promised a government founded on transparency, accountability, and prudent stewardship of national resources. On the divestiture of the Kenya pipeline, has Kenya surrendered its ownership and control to a neighboring country? What was the rationale of forcing Kenyan state corporations to invest public funds in a public entity? Who is the mysterious lead transaction advisor, stroke investment banker that was the face of the IPO? How did he acquire his Kenyan citizenship? And whose interest does he represent? Mr. William Ruto and Senator Aaron Cheriot must come clear on their relationship with this mysterious dual citizen investment banker. On the sale of government's equity stake in Safaricom to Vodacom, 204 billion Kenya shillings, it was a rip-off.
Blood
Each
pressure
share was grossly undervalued at 34 Kenya shillings. Why didn't William Ruto allow the use of an open price discovery, or even better, allow a regulated cooperative and SACCO fraternity with over 1 trillion in deposits at the end of December 2025 buy out this stake? Aren't the cooperative society members hardworking, deserving Kenyans? What happened to Buy Kenya, Build Kenya? Or is it Buy Kenya, Build Ruto?
Wow, that's a very nice slogan. Buy Kenya, build Ruto. That's a very nice slogan. My guy, that's a very nice slogan for you. Buy Kenya, build Ruto. So let me do a small advert for the guy. Buy Kenya, build Ruto. Once you buy Kenya, you build Ruto. So this is how you build the hustler economy. So yeah, that is El President. He's an amazing businessman, botanical professor, key of commando forces, commander in chief of the armed forces. And now that, and I give you props. Yeah, but honestly, my guy, you're supposed to protect the rights of the guys who are not cannot jueza. Jueza means you cannot have chums too, but my guy.
Other national assets, such as the new KCC, Kenya Ports Authority, and Kenya Airways, have been strategically targeted for sale. What is the rationale of selling our heritage? Had hard-working Kenyans remit over 100 billion Kenya shillings monthly.
And you can imagine, the president, the way he's saying is so for thinking. Is uneducated, is the most educated, God sent president of Kenya. God sent. Bruh, this guy could have invested so much in industries and manufacturing zones. Personally, all these 30 billion you see, he could have invested all that into manufacturing. Now the whole country could be like parts of the country could be a serious exporting zone, you know. But since, my guy, you must feel your first coffers. Just if you could have built the country could have grown. The country could have really pushed you, like but right now he's just trying, like just ulabaluzi, just going like wow. But anyway, let's hear how the excellency has outperformed himself.
To the National Social Security Fund, NSSF. These funds now have been targeted for budgeted corruption and ring-fenced to fund infrastructural development projects such as the Mau Summit Road, Twin Towers Commercial Building, and the Bombers of Kenya International Conference Center. Is this really prudent? Are our pensioner funds safe? What is the role of the mysterious dual citizen investment banker in structuring the fund management contracts issued by NSSF? The Communication Authority of Kenya, Universal Service Fund, has recently approved the transfer of 45 billion Kenya shillings to the National Intelligence Service, allegedly for the procurement of an ICT system whose market value is only 2.5 billion. This approval was given by the then chairperson of the Communications Authority in the hope that her business loan would be repaid from the proceeds.
What?
As explained earlier, China Road and Bridge Company, CRBC from China, is the major conveyor of corruption in Kenya and is the recipient of projects worth 1.2 trillion, namely the Naivasha, Malaba, SGR, Mombasa SGR, JKI.
Personally, I don't know why China was brought into all of this. China is such a developing country. Like, China is such a forward-thinking country. Like, such a, you know. But for them to get involved in this, the guy is there, so you can't do anything. The guy says, bring the something, you can't do anything. If you don't give the something, allegedly, he'll say, you don't get the contract. So if the guy says, you bring the money, yeah, you just have to, because he's giving you the job. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If you don't give him the chumos, the part of the chumos, then give you the contract, my guy. So for the China company, they want the job and they do good work. So personally, me like the China company in Kenya, because at least if it was Kenyans, they couldn't, the pilferage of money is going to be more. So at least them, they'll give a certain level of professionalism. But they're wondering like why are you taking your people's chumos, like why are you taking your people's cash? But for them, since they have to deal what they have to deal with, allegedly, according to Rigathi statement, they have to do what they have to do. But I believe even if the China railway company was not told to give kickbacks, I believe they could still do a very good job because they have proved their professionalism in their own country, in other countries. So that is according to me, the China company is not here nor there. So let's keep that on a bit on the wraps. But let's continue.
Decision projects: Talanta Stadium, Southern Bypass, Eastern Bypass, Western Bypass, Makuba Bridge, and Bomas of Kenya, among others. Patriotic Kenyans. Over the last 4 years, Mr. William Ruto has systematically eroded the values, principles, and institutional structures of Kenya's public service that was built to ensure an efficient, ethical, and representative government workforce. Today, the public service is demotivated and has taken a back seat, as William Ruto single-handedly runs the operations of government without any professional input from our dedicated civil servants. No wonder government programs are launched and they are after repackaged for another launch. Dear Kenyans, the Church of Christ has been a major casualty of William Ruto's deception. On 5th May 2022, he executed a charter between the churches and the Kenya Kwanza Coalition. He committed that his administration would protect the freedom of worship in Kenya and respect the church as a societal partner in national development.
Oh yeah, even the church, even the church, even the church, my guy. My guy. Like, you cannot even make these things up.
Fast forward to 2026, he has introduced punitive legislation through the Religious Organization Bill 2024, aimed at controlling the activities of the church. He has also increased fees required to carry out official activities. Who can forget the 2026 brutal murder of Reverend Julius Dumia of Nakuru PCA? Who will ever forget the attacks on Wetima ACK Church? Who will ever forget the attack of All Saints Cathedral? On 4th October 2020, William Ruto, then Deputy President, was expected at AIPCA Church in Keno. Police officers tear gas the church. At the time, William Ruto said, the Jubilee administration is a product of kneeling and prayer before many altars in Kenya. It cannot be the same administration is now going to tear gas the church and degrade our altars in Kenya. William Ruto then said, today, as president, the church is a serious attack. He has taken the attack to the church a notch higher, beyond tear gas, live fire, torching of vehicles, and a clear intention to kill at the altar. He has completely betrayed the Church of Christ. This cannot be forgotten. Mr. William Ruto has completely betrayed the Church of Christ. That prayed him into government. The economic burden on ordinary Kenyan worker has also increased. The Federation of Kenyan Employers has also reported that in 4 years, a number of local and international companies either closed operations or exited the Kenyan market. These include CMC Motors, Base Titanium, Nakumat, Twiga Industries, Dilaru, Jumia Foods, and Hilton Hotels. Today, households continue to experience severe financial squeeze due to cumulative tax charges, high utility costs, transport costs, and a stagnant job market that has limited formal opportunities. While in office as Deputy President of the Republic, I championed the restoration and the recognition of prior learning program as an avenue to increase opportunities and income for non-certified but skilled Kenyans that are the providers of goods and services that we consume as a nation.
So, there's some things I want us to discuss. Okay, you tell me in the comments what you think. Gachagua was Ruto's own deputy president until his impeachment. Does that history make his critic more credible? Or is it insider knowledge? Or is it less credible? Is this a genuine performance review or positioning ahead of 2027? What do you think? Do you think he's planning his things for 2027? That's why he's spilling the beans. What would you say Ruto's administration has actually delivered in 4 years? Anything positive worth weighing against this? So there's some things I'll say Ruto has delivered on. Talanta Stadium is one good thing that I'll say Ruto has done. I think the road for Hong Kong Road is a nice thing. So, what about Kenyatta National Hospital? I think Kenyatta National Hospital should be a very good public hospital built from the ground up. Even though all this money, like these guys are stealing, you can build a good hospital, a brand new, even if it's like 20 floors. Equip it. At least the people felt mercy for you. But now stealing everything. Surely, my guy, stealing everything. Hey. The people advise people in government.
Further, I developed a framework of cooperation and engagement between Nairobi City County Government, Nairobi County Traders, KRA, Anti-Counterfeit Authority, and the Kenya Bureau of Standards. The objective of the framework was to A, provide a platform for resolution of disputes arising out of trading activities and the informal sector, foster goodwill, cooperation, and consultation between the parties, recognize the importance of collaboration in achieving shared goals in the informal sector, and promotion and improvement of the well-being of traders and their micro, small, medium enterprises. What happened? As soon as I left office, William Ruto and Nairobi City Governor Johnson Sakaja abandoned this framework. You all remember that on 8th August 2022, a liter of super petrol retailed at 159 shillings. A liter of diesel retailed at Kenya shillings 140. As we speak today, the price of super petrol is 214 Kenya shillings and diesel 222.86 for a liter of diesel, representing an increase of 34.05% and 59.18% respectively. These increases have been contributed to higher transport costs, increased food prices, and a greater pressure on household incomes. Kenyans will recall that on April 2026, I exposed the opaque nature of the government-to-government framework and detailed its contribution to an increased landed cost of fuel products. The whole scheme and con game were nothing like G to G. It is government route. What I'm saying in a nutshell is that the high cost of fuel has nothing to do with international prices. It has everything to do with business interest of William Ruto, where he is a key player of oil importation and distribution in the country. The average Kenyan worker loses between 45 and 50% of their monthly earnings that are deducted through punitive levies and taxes, leaving significantly less disposable income for their households. For example, a teacher in Wajir earning a gross salary of 50,000 in 2022 took home approximately 42,000 Kenya shillings. Today, under William Ruto, the same teacher who is making 50,000 takes home 38,000, while facing substantially higher food, fuel, transport costs, reduced school capitation, and increased challenges in accessing health care. Coupled with the rising cost of petroleum products, the Kenya Kwanza covenant to put money into people's pocket is nothing but a pipe dream. If anything, Mr. William Ruto has achieved the complete opposite and has taken money out of Kenyans' pockets, leaving them with a reduced net disposable income. This covenant was central to the plan to improve the lives of Kenyans. As the party leader of DCP, I once again called on this government to cushion the payslip by suspending the affordable housing levy and reducing the payee tax burdens. This, together with the review of petroleum price framework, taxes charged will give Kenyans an increased net income. A punitive and unpredictable taxation regime is one of the principal causes of the high cost of living. William Ruto should lead from the front and actualize his promise made in the wake of the 2024 Gen Z protest to reduce government recurrent expenditure. State House does not need 18 billion Kenya shillings for 12 months. These funds could be used to subsidize rising fuel and food costs for the benefit of Kenyans. Or better still, these funds can be used to ensure farmers in arid and semi-arid lands have access to clean water for domestic purposes, farming, and for their livestock. Patriotic Kenyans, Mr. William Ruto promised to build a disciplined, transparent, and accountable government founded on prudent public finance management, constitutionalism, and the rule of law. He pledged to reduce the cost of government, manage public debt responsibly, eliminate corruption, strengthen institutions, and uphold the Constitution while protecting the rights and freedoms of every Kenyan. 4 years down the line, the government introduced new tax measures, expanded statutory deductions, implemented changes to public finance management, and undertook toxic borrowing to finance government programs. It also introduced reforms affecting public institutions and the administration of government. Instead of easing the financial burden on citizens, the tax burden has increased significantly. Households have experienced reduce disposable income while facing higher prices for food, fuel, electricity, and other basic commodities. On the debt management, why is this regime in open violation of Article 211 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and Section 15 2C of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 that strictly prohibits the financing of recurrent expenditure using debt? Looking back, we know that the Grand Coalition government borrowed an average of 200 billion shillings annually. The Jubilee government of Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed an average of 700 billion shillings annually. This regime of William Ruto borrows an average of 1.4 trillion annually with no corresponding development. Since August 2022, Kenya's debt growth has entered a dangerous pattern of continuous triple-digit or near triple-digit expansions. As we speak today, every citizen of Kenya and every child born as of this morning has a debt of Kenya shillings 221,000. This country has a debt of 13.02 trillion, up from Kenya shillings 8.6 trillion in August 2022 when William took over. Mr. William Ruto has borrowed.
That's so funny that a Kenyan has a loan that he does not know he has. But every Kenyan from birth has a loan of 221,000 that they do not know, according to Rigathi, allegedly. So keep in mind that before you start saying they are two-term. But if you say two-term, that's okay. You're going to pay another 221,000 in the next term and another one in another one. So it's alright. It's alright. You just relax.
In excess of 5 billion in excess of 5 trillion over the last 4 years. This regime on a borrowing spree borrows an average of 3.5 billion Kenya shillings daily and steals 3 billion shillings daily. Why borrow to steal? On average, this government steals from the people of Kenya 125 million shillings every hour. Calculated, this government is stealing every minute 2 million shillings from the people of Kenya. Dear Kenyans, the National Treasury has delayed disbursing the equitable share of revenue to counties. These cash flow delays have routinely stalled county operations, delayed staff salaries, and inflated pending bills to over 156 billion, despite legal mandates requiring timely monthly transfers. Misplaced priorities such as funding State House budget by 10 billion, building state lodges and airstrips has caused cash flow constraints. The strengthening, devolution, and improving the timely disbursement of funds was at the core of the Kenya Kwanza Covenant with the people of Kenya. Once again, this promise has been broken. Patriotic Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, measured against the promise to lower the cost of living, improve access to affordable credit, and strengthen small businesses, the evidence presented suggests that many Kenyans have yet to experience the relief that was promised. Mr. William Ruto made an ambitious commitment to the people of Kenya. The promise was to place young people at the center of Kenya's economic transformation and restore hope to millions of young people seeking meaningful work. The population of Kenya is 75% youthful. The African Union has long urged African countries to harness this demographic dividend by investing in young people. It is therefore fitting that we assess one of the administration's flagship commitments, expanding credit opportunities to Kenyans' youth. The Kenya Kwanza administration promised to establish a 50 billion hustler fund to provide affordable credit to mama mboga, boda operators, mkokoteni operators, and other small-scale entrepreneurs. This commitment was to ease financial constraints, promote enterprise, and improve the livelihoods of ordinary Kenyans. Mr. William Ruto established the Hustler Fund, whose head and tail cannot be traced. As it were, the financing programs intended to support micro, small, and medium enterprises. The Hustler Fund is said to have disbursed 87 billion Kenya shillings to 28 million people. What a paradox. What a lie. I am wed to hear of any one Kenyan saying that they have expanded their business courtesy of the Hustler Fund. Limiting the disbursement of funds to registered cooperatives would have probably made a greater economic impact and would have reduced the mobile loan default rate that is very high. I have raised fundamental questions on the effectiveness of the Hustler Fund in meeting its stated objectives. The truth of the matter is the high rate of loan defaults and low loan disbursements, in many instances 500 shillings, are insufficient to establish or grow a sustainable business venture anywhere in the country. This is simply a lost cause and was a fraud. 4 years ago, Kenyan women were promised dignity, economic empowerment, and their welfare. Today, 4 years later, we have a mongrel. Women continue to experience economic hardships occasioned by a high cost of
as the issue and accountability statement and performance
costs and an unsustainable credit framework under the Hustler Fund and Women Enterprise Fund. The discontinuation of projects such as Linda Mama and Edu Afia have increased the cost of accessing healthcare and education services to women and their families. Mr. William Ruto has ignored Justice John Mativo's 2017 ruling and the former Chief Justice Maraga 2020 advisory to entitle a legislative framework and implement the 2/3 Jeta rule despite having a parliamentary majority. Patriotic Kenyans, the Kenya Kwanza commitment was to turn the housing challenge into an economic opportunity. They promised to build 250,000 houses every year. This was a promise. However, 4 years later, Mr. Ruto has fashioned and turned this into a conduit to steal public land and be the sole supplier of construction inputs, cement, steel, tiles, nails, and MDF panels.
Imagine, he's not a supplier, apparently, allegedly. So, like where does the grid end, my guy? Where does the grid end? But it's okay, like that's how God speaks to the great one, the great president. Even I feel bad, honestly, putting God inside that statement. Like just that just isn't fair. That just isn't fair, man.
Manufactures, factories he has bought and acquired. The Affordable Housing Fund has collected over $1 billion since its inception. The State Department of Housing and Urban Development has conveniently ensured a low absorption rate of roughly 25% due to the staggered nature of construction phases and investments of proceeds in treasury bills, bonds through CDN Bank. CDN Bank is today classified as Tier 2 medium-sized bank. It has graduated from Tier 3 status after achieving a market share of over 1% driven by deposits mobilized from government of Kenya state corporations.
So first of all, you want to say congratulations to CDN Bank for reaching Tier 2 status. Now Kenyans are going to put their money there and guys from abroad. So that's very, very good. So this is a very good move from the government. This bank is very, very profitable and it's giving the best rates. So man, so this is where the vision, when God gives you a vision, and this is how far you should execute it, my guy. Personally, me, I'm learning a lot from the president. You see, so if this is what a sitting president is saying, he was a guy who was supposed to help the hustlers, the guys who are from the down, coming up. These are the guys. He's showing them the way. He's the savior. He's the Messiah, aka Dr. William Ruto. He's the Messiah, man. He's the Messiah. So it's I'm happy for the guy. At least now he's showing people, like literally, like this is what you get for being lied to. So I can't really blame the Kenyans are getting what they deserve because they voted for this guy wholeheartedly. So God is trying to show them, if the next time you vote for this guy, do not blame anyone. as Kenyans, they should not blame anyone, because if they're going to vote this guy the next time, they should not complain of what William Ruto is going to benefit from his presidency. They should not complain even a minute. No, you're given. He has already shown you what he can do to you, and you're so willing to give him a second term. Those are Kenyans. Not a majority of the Kenyans, but the little percentage, even if it's 10% of Kenyans. This guy maybe steals his way inside the next time. He's going to do what he wants to do to this country. To Kenya, he's going to do anything that he wants to do, allegedly. And nobody can stop, because we've already given him the leeway. So why will he stop now? Tell me, why will he stop now? Even if it was you. Why will you stop after somebody has given you so much? Like, take money, go buy choppers, take money, go buy hotels, take money. Like, Kenyans have financed this guy wholeheartedly, so they cannot complain. Honestly, they cannot complain. So let's continue.
Social Health Authority, Nairobi City County Government, and the Affordable Housing Fund levies. CDN Bank is worth 95 billion in asset value, Kenya shilling 74 billion in customer deposit, and a reported 1.7 billion net profit in the year ending 2025. Compare this sudden change in fortunes with the 2022 financial year results. This bank had 42 billion Kenya shillings in assets, 30 billion in customer deposit, and a reported loss in the financial year ending 2022. Since William Ruto bought it, you can see the transformation. This housing scheme is nothing but a personal business that guarantees the exclusive single source offtake of steel, MDF panels, nails, iron sheets, tiles, cement by factories owned by William Ruto and his allies.
Oh yeah. So this is the guy Kenyans are expecting to lift them from poverty. He is supplying nails, MDF, cement. The Kenyans never learn. Like, I swear to God, Kenyans never learn. You can't even make these things up. But anyway, who am I to say? I'm just a guy with a microphone, bro. With my 12 viewers, who is gonna watch this video? My 12 viewers. My standard 12 viewers are going to, who is like, I can't believe this guy is just. But anyway, that's how life works. So let's continue to hear what he's saying.
The levy proceeds are the reason why CDN Bank deposits have increased tenfold for the 4 years.
We are so happy for CDN. CDN Bank is now flourishing. We are so happy for that bank. Even me, if I was the owner, I could be happy. Why not? Money is coming in, the economy is thriving. Everything is fine, my guy.
If it were a genuine program, why is it being forced down citizens' throat? There was no promise to raise the payslip of the Kenyan worker in the name of a punitive housing levy. Private businesses must be left to do their work as the government does its work. It's important that the workers of Kenya know that monies deducted from their payslip is invested in CDN Bank owned by William Ruto, who is collecting the profit. In my view, and as expressed before, the affordable housing scheme should be made optional to Kenyans to allow them to participate at their own free will. Fellow Kenyans, Mr. William Ruto had promised that within 30 days of his presidency, he would establish a quasi-judicial public inquiry to establish the extent of cronyism and state capture in the nation and make recommendations. Unfortunately, over the last 4 years, Mr. William Ruto himself has captured the state. He has focused on centralizing control of independent constitutional commission.
Bluetooth mode.
Being certified as a US dollars billionaire in a record 4-year courtesy of looting Kenyan public coffers. Mr. William Ruto's 4 years in office has accomplished a mission of driving Kenyan entrepreneurs out of business. Contractors are out of business. Traders are out of business. William Ruto has captured all businesses and he is in competition with the Kenyans that he leads. He has used his office to flex muscles on traders. Where he has not pushed, his cordial CRBC has come in. Mr. William Ruto has investments in virtually every sector of Kenya's economy, namely banking and finance through CDN Bank.
Gachagua he's not even hiding. He's saying like, namely, banking and finance. Oh my God. Like me, honestly, if I was to say something, like this is amazing, man. This is amazing. This is how much you can get from getting into the political class. You can, like, he's outlining the achievements. Like, this is how much you can get if you get into government. This is how much you stand to reap. So yeah, I mean, first of all, I cannot blame the guy, William Ruto. I cannot blame him. You showed him, Kenyans showed him that, nobody cares. If you want to take the money, take the money. Kenyans are willingly giving the guy money like this. Like, take the money, take the money, take the money. Kenyans are giving like buy a job. Oh my God. Like, so you can't blame him. You can't blame him. His work is just to come onto TV and read a script. What else does he have to say? His work is so simple. Why do you want to make his work harder? You as a Kenyan, why do you want to make it? His work is set out. Why do you want to make his work harder? So he's okay, man. And Kenyans, you're good. You're good. You're thriving, man. You're thriving. Everything is good. In Kenya, everything is.
Investment banking through Rock Investment Bank, a CMA license issued in 2026, and is a fund manager of NSSF and PSSF pension funds. Insurance through Amaco, capital markets through ZD platform, hospitality through Weston Hotel and Leeds Caraton in Emara, cement through the various companies that he bought, including Baburi and East African Portland Cement, betting through Sportspesa, Sportbet and Betika, aviation through Kwale Island Development, healthcare through Nairobi West Hospital, telecommunication through East African Device Assembly Limited, oil and energy through Gulf Energy and oil marketing companies, energy gas through Taifa Gas, construction, farming, currency security. He has recently bought Daru.
What? He has recently. Kenyans are screwed. I swear to God. Fuck. Pole. I'm sorry for putting that out there. Like, but what do you mean, man? Hey, God. He has even bought now Delaru. My guy, like at a. Hey. Kenyans are going to be taught a good lesson by this guy. They are going to be taught a lesson that they will never forget. Me, that's what I've never voted for Uhuru. I never voted for the guy. So, man, Kenyans are going to learn a sweet lesson. That's why Rigiji is this hard, because you can see all the wealth this guy has amassed, man. Like it's crazy, man. He is thriving proper. Hmm? In this Kenyan economy. Can you all of these investments in this Kenyan economy? This Kenyan economy, Mega has bought the Laru, the company that's supposed to print Kenya, from taking from taking the from taking the land for this hotel is called what? This land is called land is called what that hotel that he has. Kenyans. They're single-handedly making someone a dollar trillionaire, and you're so happy about it. From rags to riches. First of all, I'll say this: congratulations to Kenya. If you're a Kenyan, clap for yourself. If you voted for this guy, clap for yourself. You have done Kenya proud. Don't complain, not even a minute. Let him teach you how to be a president. Let him show you the way. Don't complain. Don't complain.
Transport, he has even gone into the matatu business.
Just go to the matatu business. The son of a hustler from the ground up. Those tears this guy was crying in church, he knew you were going to pay for those tears. Kenyans and Kenyans don't listen. Let me get my 12 views in peace. Kenyans don't listen. I swear to God.
He now has over 100 matatus in Nairobi. Agriculture, poultry, minerals, gold prospecting in Aboseli, Logorian, Transmara,
So first of all, I'll say this. If you believe this guy deserves the second chance, by all means, go vote for the guy. That's what I believe. Kenyans, where they have reached, they're going to put themselves in. I know, okay, these guys are trying to wake up, but if it's less than a year to the election, if guys don't fully resonate with who is in power today, Kenyans are going to really, really, really feel this guy. Reno. I hear some people I'm just like, but if he is the guy for you, he is your guy. You don't own a car. You don't even own a house. A bicycle, you do not even have. A job, you do not even have a job in the Kenyan economy. You cannot even afford food. And someone is busy saying this guy 2-term. That's okay if you want to, but hearing all this amount of money he has amassed and wealth, and he's still shouting the 2-term. Is your head okay? Are you okay? I'm just asking, are you okay? Kenyans, maybe this may take go to 2 people. Are you okay? That's my opinion. I'm allowed to say my opinion. So I'm just asking, are you okay? Because okay, you can be working for the government. That's okay, you can work for the government. But I'm asking, have you heard what Gachagua has said all this time and you're okay with it? If you're okay with it, that's fine. Personally, I did not vote for the guy. So because from the Western hotel or what hotel, if he was willing to do that to those children back then, and now you don't, you think this is what he's capable of. This is even a shadow of what he's going to do. This is even him. He already has money to call himself as Papa. And you're thinking you're in the same league as a Kenyan. Use your head. Use your head. Use your head. You do not have a brain. So many people say that when you have dreadlocks, do your what? I'm honestly telling you, if you do not see any reasoning in what Gachagua said, it is okay. But personally, I'll tell you, my guy, you need to go get checked. This doesn't make sense. What Gachagua is saying does not make. I am. To many people, some people, it makes sense. If you're in government, you're eating money, it makes sense because you need to protect your money. But if you're not in government, and this makes sense to you because you're given 500 shillings for hustler fund. But it's okay. Everything is working in Kenya, and so let's continue to hear what Rigathi is saying. So yeah, everything is working. It has almost made me feel bad, but so let's continue.
RC, including in the food. Literally, all business people in Kenya have been driven out of business by William Ruto. The Parliament of Kenya has failed in its legislative oversight and representative role. Its members, except the few who hang around with me, are on record boasting how they are paid for everything that they pass in Parliament. I must remind all parliamentarians that they are accomplices to criminal acts. Under the archaic leadership of the UDA with winger Moses Wetangula, the National Assembly is one of the major causes of the suffering of Kenyans by passing bad law.
Like when you a few days ago, you could hear some member of parliament. Or is it I don't know what his name is. It's another guy over there. You're saying the way guys were given enough money for you to buy a good house. So and he's bragging. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know, us allegedly you are given this cash, bana. Eh? You care, you're complaining. You didn't use your cash vizuri. Huh? Him is asking, he's saying out loud in public, you know, as you're given some chumos to remove the shower. Why did you take your chumos? You're running around with some chiles over here. Bruh. So I think personally, honestly, if if Ruto becomes the president 2027, I don't know, like this is that is just not right. Okay, honestly, personally, no, me stand by that. Take me or you want to take me, but that is just that is just no, bruh. That's too much, my G. Huh? And like guys, and somebody will come there and say like, "Niaje, like, why are you talking like? Have you heard what Gachagua is? And have you been seeing the news, my guy? Hmm? Hmm? And still, that's not a problem for none of y'all. Hmm? God bless this country. I do pray God blesses Kenya, but this, and most of these are grown ups speaking my guy. These are grown ups doing all these things, bro. If you're a young Kenyan, just know these are grown ups, bro. Like this is the epitome of adulthood. These are the guys who are supposed to show you the way. My guy, let's play this thing.
Like the Finance Bill 2024, whose provisions were later sneaked through amendments and omnibus legislation. Mr. William Ruto's attempt over the last 4 years to undermine the office of the Auditor General has been frantic and uncalled for. He now wants the Auditor General arrested for resisting theft of public funds. The people of Kenya will not allow it. Mr.
So, the Auditor General, apparently, Um, let me just shut up because to work in government, in a government job, is just like, I don't know, alleged. It's just like you just can't. Once you hear Mkubwa says, like do this, do this, do this, just do it, because if you don't, that means you lose your job, you lose your income. You see, bro, hmm? It's crazy, man.
William Ruto has made IPOA non-functional. In the last 4 years, an attempt was made through a gazette notice to put it under the Ministry of Interior so that they can cover all the crimes against Kenyans and the police. Fortunately, our court stopped this covert mission. Historically, IBC has been an institution under low public trust. It is in the public domain that IBC has currently constituted and
Me personally, I feel bad for. Okay, to be honest, I feel bad for the grown-ups who are in government. They are mature people, like the ones who are like 40 plus and above in the Kenyan government. Honestly, feel for them. If you're maybe 38 or 37 and above, and this is your sole income, this is what you've said, this is going to build your house, this is their career, this is everything, man. And you have to just deal with the systemic. So I think this is where everything stems in, and because I this Kenyans need a lot of prayers. Even prayers, hmm? Prayers also needs action. If you're going to pray and you're still going to look at this guy and just tell him, like Nyaji, take our money, continue to do what you want to do, like you're the next president, bro. How, like, with all this money being said out here, how does that justify the mean? Hmm? But anyway, two term, very important for the guy to come back next time. Ish. I can't, you can't even fathom this guy coming back. But it's okay, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good.
enjoys low public trust among Kenyans. The threat by the chairman Ethocon to suspend or allow by-elections if there is violence is a clear indication that he is under manipulation by William Ruto. The Central Bank of Kenya is one of the most critical government institutions we have. However, through the National Assembly, the CBK Act was amended recently to allow the purchase of gold and other precious metals. This is gold bag season 2 loading. Kenyans should be alarmed that CBK has not received currency supplies from Germany for 4 months after it became apparent that the government wanted money diverted to Mombasa and the German suppliers were reluctant. We have also noted the recent changes in the ownership of Delaru, Kenya, and Kenyans are keenly watching the space to establish whether they want to print currency for
Yeah,
bribing
manze,
voters in the forthcoming generation.
bruh. Hmm? You cannot even make these things up, my guy. Hmm? You cannot even make this thing. It's just like Miguel is just there. He's saying like like the other one. Last time we got a. Hmm? Now you're going. Now you're going to do. Do you know what is Delaru, my guy? Hmm? Delaru is the company that makes prints chumos in Kenya cash, and this guy has bought it. Hmm? If you think clearly, just ask yourself something, a good question. Hmm? 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 Kenyans, I hope you're gonna correct your ways, because this thing, like, Kenyans like to not to tell the not to say the truth, and literally Kenyans will follow each other going to at supporting this. Like, what do you mean, my guy? You're supporting this guy. It's your right, but what do you mean? I mean, I'm asking you, like, tell me in the comments, what do you mean you're supporting this guy? Hmm? After everything you've heard, you want to say like he's still the guy. If he's still your guy, that's okay. You have every right to. But personally,
election. Allow me to give two practical examples of how William Ruto has captured institutions. I'll use APOA and KWS as examples. At IPOA, we have over 1,000 cases of police excesses that have been reported over the last 4 years by the people of Kenya. Only about 10 cases have found their way to court. Mr. William Ruto has deliberately slowed down the activities of IPOA. Some few days ago, the Amboseli National Ecosystem the Amboseli National Park ecosystem, 15 elephants died and some lions died later. We were cheated that they were died through suspected cyanide poisoning from pesticides. Tell the Kenyans the truth, Mr. William Ruto. Doing cyanide lynching to extract good prospects. And this warning goes to the people of Ikolomani in Kakamega, where Mr. William Ruto is eyeing your gold deposits. Be very careful.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Even I had Lingogi mentioning this story. I'm like, what do you mean, my guy? Yo, like, I'm telling you, bro, like, this is just, it's just, when you hear these things, you just go like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean, Gachagua? What do you mean? Gachagua, what do you mean? Like, that the elephants died? What do you mean? Because of gold? My guy. Honestly, I think you're supposed to choose. You're supposed to ask God for wisdom. This is not wisdom. Why didn't Uhuru take all of these things? And he was the son of a rich man, the son of a president. Why didn't he take it upon himself to steal all of this? Why didn't he say that this is his time, to loot? At least even during Uhuru's time, there was Linda Mom, at least, and it was free, at least. And guys were saying he was stealing to steal, and he included William Ruto in his government, and he was the baddest president. You see. So let's continue. But sure, my guy, like what, like, even elephants, my guy, really, hey. Well, let me rewind this part here.
1,000 cases of police excesses that have been reported over the last 4 years by the people of Kenya. Only about 10 cases have found their way to court. Mr. William Ruto has deliberately slowed down the activities of IPOA. Some few days ago, the Amboseli National Ecosystem.
That's bad. Amboseli Amboseli Park. My guy, because there's gold over there. And also in Western Kenya there's gold, and also in Kwale there's some minerals, and in Turkana there's oil. Kenyans have so much wealth, so many resources, but you just wonder, like, what is wrong? Like, is the misinformation that serious? Like, guys in the villages don't have money, man, and these things is just, it's like, and I'm like, what is this, my guy? Like, what is this? You tell me in the comments. You're a Kenyan, you're so happy that the guy is in power. I would want to know, like, when you're hearing all of this, you're so happy when you hear all of this. That's okay. When you go to Citizen, this was short on Citizen. you're supposed to be very, very happy when you're hearing these things about the guy. So you tell me in the comments, why are you happy? I would want to know, why are you happy? Because you're hearing all of what Gachagua is saying. I would want to know, why are you happy? Is it because you have some? Do you think you've gotten as much money as this guy? Because you think you're being given a kick. Do you hear how much this guy has gotten? Hmm? And you are just there clapping. You are an MP, you're a minister clapping, saying that you've been given maybe 1 billion. Hmm? Can you hear how much this guy has taken? You've been, bruh. Hmm? You're out of the woods now. This guy is taking maybe 10,000 times on top of what these ministers are getting, and they are busy ranting here saying, "Oh, this guy is proper. He's set for life proper." These ministers are here blabbing their mouths as if nobody can see they're taking the small end of the cake. Hmm? But anyway, two term, two term. YouTube kindly. The guy is two term. He needs to remain two term. He's going to go back to the presidency because Kenyan people want him to go back. I feel so bad saying this thing, really, but because it's just disheartening even to hear.
Some few days ago, the BOMBSHELL National Park ecosystem, 15 elephants died and some lions died later. We were cheated that they were died through suspected cyanide poisoning from pesticides. Tell the Kenyans the truth, Mr. William Ruto. Doing cyanide lynching to extract good prospects. And this warning goes to the people of Ikolomani in Kakamega, where Mr. William Ruto is eyeing your gold deposits. Be very careful. Again, the CS for Health issued Gazette notice number 11492 on 30th July 2026 on the mandatory inbound travel health insurance for tourists traveling to Kenya to have travel insurance in Kenya. We know the reason. This is because goons are after tourists in the country, and now they want to force an insurance policy down their throats. To demonstrate what professionals in this government feel and go through, allow me to quote Professor Njogona Ndungu, the former National Treasury Cabinet Secretary, during a development forum in Sweden. And I quote, "The capacity to do the right things exists, but is overshadowed by institutional failure, where someone seeks to overrun institutions. The current president is overrunning all institutions, leading to conformity driven by fear within these institutions," close quote. What is...
Oh yeah. Me honestly, on a personal level, you know, like it's amazing to see the character of this guy. Like personally, it's amazing to see the character of this guy. It's amazing. I would want people to know, like, wow, this guy is a. That's why I got on YouTube first of all, because like this guy is he's clearly showing you like where he's going, and he's not afraid to show it. Like, this is where he wants to go. Hmm? Bruh, I have tried to shut up about Kenyan politics, but nowadays I had not even listened to this speech. But this, like this is going to give you blood pressure, ultimate. My guy, this is crazy. What do you think? Hmm? Gachagua, you're making me even feel emotional. Hmm? I wasn't supposed to be emotional, but this, I'm just like, hey, Gachagua, ish. Hmm? And these other guys over there, these ministers are there saying, Johnny Haji, like, we in power. Hmm? How are you in power? How? Tell me, how are you in power? How are you in power? How are you in power? Hmm. Hmm. even with all of this money, Kenya can build a good AI facility, perfect, build a good dam, you see, and all those jobs can come to Africa. But because, hey, guy, that's why the Kenyan airport is the way it is. That's why, let me just play. I cannot. I'll get too angry. Let me continue. I'll just get too angry. Let me.
Is this, if not impunity, of the highest order? Patriotic Kenyans, historically, land is one of the most emotive issues in Kenya. Mr. William Ruto has promised to settle all historical land injustices in Kenya and resettle millions of squatters across the country. Unfortunately, he has scored the lowest in this matter and created many war fronts of the land question. Over the last 4 years, William Ruto and his cronies have been involved in an historic high-level grabbing of land and misuse of public lands. For instance, 2,800 acres have been grabbed by Ruto and his cronies in Kebiko, Kajiado. 6,000 acres of land in Waso Kedwang in Suswa has been grabbed. 5,000 acres of land, or Kyobo in the Masai Mara, has been grabbed. 1,000 acres of land for Puko and Limanet within Narok Township has been grabbed. Over 7,000 acres of land of Olokuto adjudication section in Narok North. Kehoto land, about 300 landowners risk being thrown out of their 700 acres of land. Davivi land in Naivasha has been grabbed by William Ruto. He has put up a home and he is growing wheat and maize in the farm. Banita settlement scheme, 14,000 acres of land have been grabbed.
What?
Olongai land, about 167,000 people are at the risk of eviction as this land is being grabbed. Egerton University land, Oscar Sudi, Samburu, and William Ruto have grabbed 2,000 acres of land meant for the university where they are doing wheat farming. Patriotic Kenyans, health has long been one of Kenya's foremost national priorities.
Hey, so guys, I want to hear, because guys are saying someone might say, you work for the government, you're a minister, and you're supporting the regime. That's okay. I have no problem with that. With all blessings and I had another woman boasting, I have 100 million for campaigns. You have 100 million for campaigns. Do you know how much this guy has? You're boasting to us you have 100 million for campaign. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Kenyan population. Who's going to talk for you guys? Oh yeah. This is crazy, my G. Hearing all what this have you had all that land? And and there's a lot of more previous land stories. My G, this is not even the first one. And you're comfortable there, just saying, this is the if this what Rigathi is saying is true, my G, this is just wrong. This is wrong. But anyway, since in Kenya guys support things like this, once you see someone in a car, in a big car, Kenya. Kenya, Joe. This is crazy. I was wondering, what is this that Rigathi has recorded for over an hour? What?
Building on the gains made at Kenya Vision 2030, the Kenya Kwanza administration committed itself to delivering universal health coverage by guaranteeing every Kenyan access to affordable health quality health care. The plan pledged to realize the constitutional right to health through a reformed national health insurance scheme founded on the principle of leaving no one behind. To implement this commitment, the government replaced the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, with a failed and fraudulent scheme called SHA that has left millions of Kenyans on their own. The discontinuation of Linda Mama and Edu Afya on December 31st, 2023, has left significant gaps in healthcare coverage. In 2022, Edu Afya provided medical cover to 3.4 million secondary school students at an annual cost of 3.2 billion. Today, approximately 4.1 million secondary school students no longer enjoy that medical cover, leaving parents to bear the full cost of treatment. Mr. William Ruto had committed to addressing the inequities in Kenya's education system so as to level the playing field for all children irrespective of their background. He further committed to equitable universal basic education defined as 12 years of schooling. He further committed himself to protecting and strengthening the gains made under free primary education and free day secondary education.
I just remembered, when you go to Nairobi right now, it's so okay. It has a lot of dirt, and the funniest thing is, and the rubbish, and the funniest thing is, once you hear all of this money that has been stolen, and you cannot even manage to fix the rubbish. Even collecting rubbish is a problem with all this money that has been stolen. Collecting rubbish and fixing the sewers is a problem. Collecting, you know what I'm saying? Collecting rubbish is a problem. Rwanda, a small country, is more cleaner than Kenya. You know? Rubbish, just simple rubbish, and you have all this money. It's a problem. You cannot pay the youth, you cannot buy trucks, you cannot. Rubbish, only rubbish in the whole of Nairobi is a rubbish. See, garbage is a problem to collect. Garbage is a problem to collect in Nairobi. And you can hear all this money being stolen. Garbage. You know what I'm saying? Simple things, like just even paying. It's amazing. It's amazing to hear all of this. It's amazing to hear all of this. No, this is the excellency, the chosen one, the one. Even I'm so tired of exalting this guy. This some low quality grade thinking one. And people are shouting, "Ta-da, ta-da, 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 ta-da."
While ensuring that every Kenyan child had access to quality, affordable, and equitable education. He also pledged to strengthen higher education financing and invest in the nation's human capital. The William Ruto government inherited landmark education reforms introduced by previous administrations. Free primary education launched in 2003, free day secondary education introduced in 2018, that had significantly expanded access to education for millions of Kenyan children. The commitment was not only to preserve these gains, but to build upon them by ensuring adequate capitation, sustainable financing, and improved access to quality education for all. In the words of the third president of the Republic of Kenya, the best president we have ever had, Mzee Mwai Kibaki, and he said, and I quote, "Education is the ultimate means of ensuring an equitable society. Equitable education ensures that every child has a chance to fulfill their potential and rise to the highest level of accomplishment." Close quote. 4 years later, the government has caused irreparable instability and confusion in the educational sector. The gains made by the previous administration under free primary education and free day secondary education have been eroded to dust. Secondary school parents now shoulder substantially higher education costs, while the level of government capitation has failed to keep pace with inflation and rising operation costs. The capitation rate established in 2017 was 22,000 per student. However, today's schools receive only 9,000 per student during the previous financial year, creating a significant funding gap. Our public universities are facing unprecedented financial distress. University debt has increased from 60 billion in August 2022 to approximately 100.3 billion Kenya shillings, representing an increase of Kenya shillings 40.3 billion, or about 67% increase. As a result, many institutions are experiencing severe financial challenges that will affect the delivery of quality education. Further, we have had two university financing models in 2 years, measured against the commitment to strengthen education, protect free basic education, and improve access to higher education. The evidence presented suggests that the sector has experienced significant setbacks, placing greater financial pressure on families and creating uncertainty for learners and institutions alike. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Ruto pledged to invest 250 billion Kenya shillings into the agricultural sector to shift the country from food security.
Okay, so my guy, I was asking, and these MPs and these guys for, I saw some members of parliament going on air and ridiculing what Rigiji was saying. You mean Rigathi Gachagua can come on TV for almost over an hour and spew nonsense? It is okay he wanted some money from the Chinese guys. Also, you guys are getting money. That's okay. He's in the system. He was. But you want to tell me all these grown-ups that were in that meeting, my G, all these grown-ups, fully fledged adults, stand with stealing, stand with all this corruption, and they're there ridiculing this Rigiji. Rigiji, as far as I'm concerned, he is trying to wash his sins. Let him do his part. But no, no. Hey, my G. Okay, personally, when I'm talking about these stories, I would say, what right do I have to talk about this story? What right do I have? Man, I'm a Kenyan, first of all. And this, I didn't expect this to rouse me like this, but this is just my guy. Now this is what you call good leadership, my guy. These are your leaders, huh? The ones you voted for. Let me continue to listen to this guy. The parliamentarians who came out ridiculing this guy. Oh yeah, Kenyans, we are doomed
To surplus production. Recognizing its strategic importance, he pledged to transform the agricultural sector by increasing productivity, improving farmer incomes, and revitalizing key value chains. The administration committed itself to revamping underperforming export crops, expanding emerging high-value crops, strengthening the tea value chain, supporting food security, and promoting agro-processing as a driver of economic growth. Despite the commitments made, our farmers have experienced increased economic hardship. Net incomes have reduced due to increased cost of inputs, higher taxation rates, high transport and distribution costs due to reclassification of VAT status. Agriculture continues to receive approximately 2% of the national budget, significantly below the African Union 10% target under the Maputo Declaration. The tea sector has faced considerable challenges over the past 4 years. This is due to the deterioration of Kenya's economic economic and diplomatic relations with Sudan. Historically, one of the largest buyers at the Mombasa tea auction. Sudan's annual consumption of Kenyan tea declined from approximately 10.7 million kilograms to about 1.7 million kilograms, leaving substantial volumes of tea unsold. But why has this happened? Mr. William Ruto's appetite for business and money has failed Kenya. His close association with Sudan's RSF warlord, Mr. Hemeti, in illegal trade of gold in exchange for weapons, has reversed the gains we have made. These internationally sanctioned war criminals live in Kenya under state protection and have been issued with diplomatic passports and ID cards by Kipchumba Murkomen. U.S. Senator Jim Risch, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, while noting Kenya's NATO ally status, criticized William Ruto during a May 2025 hearing. Senator Risch questioned Kenya's loyalty following its facilitation and hosting of Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces RSF. Rice farmers in Ahero, West Kano, Bunyala, Bura and Moya have also faced significant challenges. Although rice was identified as a strategic import substitution crop, import volumes approaching 1 million metric tons annually have depressed local paddy prices, leaving many farmers with unsold stock. Just recently, on 6 July 2026, William Ruto authorized the gazettement of duty-free importation of 490,000 metric tons of grade 1 milled white rice before 30th November, June 26. It estimates that this represents a missed economic opportunity exceeding 100 billion Kenya shillings if domestic production had been given priority.
Oh, my guy. Can you listen? Maybe you're not listening to me. Have you heard what Rigathi is saying? Maybe I'm saying. Personally, I wasn't supposed to listen to it. I thought this press briefing was just Rigathi Manenas, but my guy, like, what's this, man? Do you have your $1 million, 2 million shillings car? You have hustled for that car. Maybe it's a loan car. You have your 1 million car over there. You don't have you're renting. 2 million Kenya shillings car you're renting. You have hustled for that 2 million for the last 3-4 years. My guy is flourishing like nobody's business, and you want to say that Rigathi is mad? My guy, on my channel I post a lot of American content, but this, if you see me taking time to listen to Rigathi, and you're working, you're working maybe in a private company, think everything is daddy, you know everything's okay. My guy, my lady, you know, just take a minute and just it's not about you being okay. I'm okay. It's not a must I do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not a must I talk about Rigathi. I can get more money talking about American content by the way on YouTube, if you don't know. But I'm just like, this is beyond unthinkable, man. Like, how do you take, how do you sit down every day thinking to take instead of to create, man? What? That's why I think Ruto seemed like a very progressive person in the first place, but right now, no, right now, this is just too much, my God.
Before this duty-free window was open, even those state
But anyway, he is doing a very good job according to you. If he's doing a very good job according to you, go vote for him the next time. Just go do what you have to do to suit your
Sugar mills have been leased to private sector.
and you can also hear the funniest thing is what Rigiji is saying, like even guys in the community are listening to what Rigiji is saying, and the guys who are listening to Rigiji are going to fight you for me speaking out. That's the funniest thing in Kenya. Guys are going to be like, why are you saying what Rigiji is saying? He is saying something that you're supposed to, as a mature person, you're supposed to listen to that shit. My guy, this is just I can't believe even like I'm the one listening to Rigiji at night, my G. YouTube do your thing, man, but Rigiji has given me blood pressure. I didn't think it's gonna give me blood pressure. It's giving me blood pressure, my G. No.
Players associated with William Ruto. Their principal business model is to import sugar instead of purchasing locally grown sugar from farmers. This has left 320,000 small-scale sugarcane farmers now facing an uncertain future. The targeted turning of 2 million poor farmers from food deficit to surplus producers using input finance and agricultural extension support. To date, show me one farmer in Kenya who can come forward as a testimonial. Instead, this farmer has nothing. In fact, small-scale farmers in Moya and Ahero are currently in court trying to salvage their crop after government gazetted the importation of 490,000 metric tons of rice for importation. Tea farmers are crying. A 0.8% levy has been introduced, and this year's bonus will reduce from 45 Kenya shillings per kilo. Sugarcane farmers in Western Nyanza and Kisii, the government is unable to pay 270 million owed to them. Cane per ton has reduced from 6,500 to 5,000. Dairy farmers who have supplied milk to new KCC have not been paid for 6 months. It is further alarming that the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Program allocation dropped by 54% to 54% from 10.2 billion Kenya shillings in 2025-2026 financial year to 4.7 billion Kenya shillings in 2026-2027 financial year. This is a direct assault on the agricultural value chain in Kenya. As Deputy President, I initiated progressive reforms in the agricultural sector that increase returns for tea, coffee, dairy, and other cash crops. Through my efforts, we negotiated an 8 billion debt waiver for coffee farmers that was suspended as soon as I left office. More can and more will be done once we form government on August 10 next year. Patriotic Kenyans, William Ruto pledged affordable credit and working capital through an accommodative financial ecosystem, removing structural exploitation and removing barriers to unsecured agricultural credit. To date, the Agricultural Finance Corporation is underfunded. It has a demand of 15 billion Kenya shillings per year from farmers, but the promise to fund it by 10 billion Kenya shillings per year was a hoax. Instead, those who borrowed are being auctioned. Dear Kenyans, William Ruto pledged to revive collapsed cooperative factories and processing plants such as sugar and dairy sectors, and guaranteed minimum returns for farm products. Show me any revived sugar factory. Instead, they have been sold, and they have been bought by Ruto and cronies. Where is the cashew nut factory you promised in the coast? Where is the value addition centers you promised in 47 counties? Where are the county industrial and aggregation parks you promised? Where is the state-of-the-art slaughterhouse you promised at Bachuma for animals in northern Kenya? Where is the nitrogen fertilizer factory you launched in Naivasha? Where is the marble factory you launched in Vihiga? On value chain investments, he designated a specific capital infusion, including 250 billion for tea value chain, and expanded investments in dairy farming and coffee cherry funds. Where are these funds? Nowhere. On blue economy and fisheries, funding for fisheries and the blue economy decreased by 30% from Kenya shillings 11.15 billion to Kenya shillings 7.83 billion. Livestock sector allocations of livestock fell by 14% from Kenya shillings 13.6 billion to 11.6 billion. On eradication of hunger and improved food security, the country was promised prosperity by Ruto. Unfortunately, the number of undernourished people in Kenya increased from 10.1 million in 2004-2006 to 19.7 million in 2023-2025. It is more troubling when you look at the cost of a typical household food basket. A food basket is estimated to have risen from Kenya shillings 15,000 in 2022 to over 19,000 shillings today, an increase of more than 26%. Essential commodities such as electricity, chicken, beef, sugar, kerosene, bread, and milk have all become significantly more expensive here in Kenya over the last 4 years. Patriotic Kenyans, 4 years ago, this government promised the people of Kenya dams and water. 50 mega dams across the country were promised. 200 medium-sized dams across the country were promised. 1,000.
This president is very funny. He promised 50 mega dams. 50. 200 small medium-sized dams. And he wants to force himself allegedly as the next president after taking all that money. Like, how much is enough? Like, it's important to ask. Like, you tell me in the comments. You might be thinking this is a joke, but for these guys are willing to do anything to come back to power. You maybe you're a Kenyan, you're just there, you're wondering, hey, cool, what's all of this? But for someone who is in power, he's serious. He's willing to come back at any cost. So, my guy, like I'm seeing what is happening, and I'm alarmed, man. This is serious, and my guy, this is serious, man. Yeah, this is serious. You should, if you don't think this is serious, this is serious. I didn't think this problem had reached this extent, but now this, Mm. Mm. No shame at all. No shame. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. And people have to go and greet him, going like, "How are you, Mr. Hey?" Like, it's so unfortunate. And there's this other idiot saying that they got. Let me continue. Finish.
More dams were to be constructed across the country. These dams included High Grad Force Dam along the Tana and Mutonga rivers to serve Kitui, Tharaka Nithi, and Embu counties. Soin Koru Dam in Kisumu, Rumuruti Dam in Laikipia, Mohoya Dam in Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Revival Overall and Kimorel Dams, Thakwe Dam, Sioi Muruni Dam in West Pokot, Badasa Dam in Marsabit, Darugo in Kiambu, Rale in Kilifi, Galana in Tana River, Kokwanyo Dam in Homa Bay, Lowati in Turkana, Makamini in Kwale, among others. Unfortunately, all we see, no dam. All we see is our president visiting other countries like Ethiopia to witness the launching of their dams.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, if you're a security personnel and maybe you're going to be told, this boy has produced this video. I wanted to ask yourself, like, have you seen Ethiopia's dam? Have you seen Rwanda's development? And you're busy, and you're busy there saying that you want to follow a small guy because I am the now. If you come to maybe take someone like me, I am the solution to Mr. William Ruto's problems. The youth speaking out are the are the solution to Dr. William Samoei Ruto's problems for solving Kenya's problems. That's what you think. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Paying bloggers is what is going to make Ruto the next president. After hearing all of this, that is what is going to make him the next president. Paying government bloggers is what is going to give the president the strategy zero. It is going to be a big problem next year. If this guy has stolen all of these resources, he's going to protect it with everything he has. I swear, he's going to protect it with everything he has, allegedly. Allegedly. So, this is alarming. This from a hotel, from taking that Western hotel to know all of this. Kenyans are screwed. For sure, Kenyans are screwed.
Where are these dams, Mr. William Ruto, in 4 years? On matters of environment, this administration had committed to grow 15 billion trees by the year 2032. What we are witnessing is the lifting of the logging ban and the systematic logging in national forests under the cover of the Kenya Forest Service. Numerous court cases have been filed by international conservation groups Greenbelt and the Law Society of Kenya against the government's attempt to develop build infrastructure in protected natural habitats. Talanta Stadium and Bomas Conference Center Link Road that will see over 100 acres of forest destroyed. Upper Imenti Forest in Meru is being cleared for the construction of a state lodge, a golf course, and an airstrip, which will exercise and clear 200 acres of forest. Where was this promise? Even the trees at the gate of State House have been cut. Is this still part of the growing 15 billion trees? Patriotic Kenyans, in foreign affairs, we had the worst since independence. Kenya's nose is poked everywhere, including the war in Ukraine and Russia, where our young men are lied to that they are jobs, well-paying for that matter, but they find themselves in the war front. Reports indicate that we have lost 19 Kenyans, including Clinton Nyapara, Dennis Bagaka, Erastus Mundia, Simeon Wahome, Eric Mwangi, Ronald Kibet, Shadrach Wafula, Othiabo Martin, Ibrahim Yahaya, among others. Several other Kenyans in their hundreds remain unaccounted for, and hundreds of others are still active in the war zone. Their parents are keen at home, still crying to see their loved ones back home. A person who was in Kenya in 2022 would wonder whether the Kenya Kwanza commitment to a creative and robust foreign policy whose pillars will be economic and commercial diplomacy changed into converting our young Kenyans into war fugitives in far countries. As if that is not enough, the footprints of Kenya adversary in DRC Congo was an M23, Sudan's Darfur, Southern Sudan, among others. He had promised to enhance and promote further local investment by Kenyans living in the diaspora. In Mandera County, Jubaland forces have taken over more than half of the town, and William Ruto signed a secret deal with the Al-Shabaab in 2024 that has remained silent. Notably, in July 2026, there were a record 9 terror attacks in Mandera County that resulted in the killing of 5 Special Operation Group SOG officers and 1 National Police Reservist was killed. The foreign policy has been transformed into a tool to achieve personal gains at the interests of the people of Kenya. Fellow Kenyans, now let us move in and ask Mr. William Ruto the hard questions he deserves. 1. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 2. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 3. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 4. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 5. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 6. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 7. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 8. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 9. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 10. What will the president do to ensure that the Kenyan people have a secure, stable, and secure future? 11. What will the president do to ensure But before that, let me give credit where it is due. There is one promise Mr. William Ruto made to the people of Kenya, and he has delivered 100%.
Which one is that one?
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Congratulations.
Mr. Ruto, you promised to permanently retire the late Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, in Bondo, and finish ODM. You have succeeded in both. Odinga is permanently retired in Bondo, and ODM is no more. There are many prominent deaths that have occurred in Kenya, and they have not been resolved. Kenyans want to know what happened to Raila Odinga.
That's very interesting. So for Rigathi to say that Ruto had promised, I don't know if it was between him or I don't know, that Raila was going to whatever. So he made sure his promise came to fulfillment. Oh yeah, my G. You know, in Kenya, people in the Swahili people say something, but maybe the worshippers don't believe it. Guys say malipo ni hapa duniani. So I don't know what that means according to William Ruto, because he has amassed so much wealth. So for him, I believe that if in the government, I believe we don't think like maybe God can come back to you, or maybe these things can come back to you because you already have the money. So they say money is just I'm just thinking about this story. I'm like, hey, bruh.
Why were the medical doctors of the late Prime Minister denied access to him at the last hours? Why did he have doctors from Nairobi West Hospital, a hospital closely associated with William Ruto, than his own doctors? Why were the instructions of Raida's doctor ignored, that Raida should in trouble? Raida Odinga was a respecter of rural traditions and customs. How could a person, known respecter of rural traditions and customs, indicate that he should be buried in 72 hours against all known rural traditions and customs? Was William Ruto anywhere an executor of Raila Odinga's will? Why was there no postmortem done on the body of Raila Odinga? Why was he forced to go to India through a private jet? Why did the president force Raila Odinga to go to India? Why was his party ODM taken over before his body arrived in the country, despite the known African customs that you don't inherit a man or a woman, for that matter, before they are buried? Who are these doctors who accompanied Raila Odinga against the wishes of his personal doctor, Professor David Oluocholunya? These are hard questions that Kenyans want to know. On the death of Honorable John Ngeno, the late MP for Emurua Dikil, for the first time, Kenyans must know what happened. I have intelligence information as follows. On the fateful day after Ngeno was dropped at Edebes, the helicopter went to fuel in Eldoret. The pilot didn't know the fuel he was about to put in had been transported to the scene from Lodwar. High alert Kenya revenue officials noticed an unusual car that had carried the jet fuel. It was arrested and the driver questioned. The driver refuted to them that he transported the fuel from Lodwar. Immediately, this KRA official and the police Eldoret Airstream were instructed from Nairobi to release the driver if they cared about their lives. Is it this fuel that caused the chopper not to pick up in high altitudes? Is that why the pilot first came down and tried again to pick up? These are fundamental questions. What did Kipchumba Murkomen know about the people who called this KRA officer and the police at Eldoret Airstream officials? Can KEA produce the CCTV footage at the facility on this fateful date? We are still waiting for a report on what killed Johanna Ngeno. We must not forget about our gallant General Francis Ogola, the decorated Top Gun who had a stellar 40-year career in the military and perished in 2024 in an air crash. Unfortunately, to date, Mr. William Ruto, the Commander-in-Chief, has failed to release the aircraft accident investigation report to the country. Kenyans are demanding for answers. General Gora was not an ordinary citizen. He died in active duty and service to the nation. Mr. William Ruto, what do you know about General Francis Ogola's death? Are you willing to tell the country why you allowed General Francis Ogola to fly in a Bell Hue helicopter with a questionable mechanical status? The DPP must use its powers and establish an inquest on these unresolved murders over the last 4 years. The people of Kenya have told me to demand on their behalf a public inquest on the death of Raila Odinga and all the high-profile questionable deaths in Kenya that have occurred in the last 4 years of William Ruto's presidency. I therefore call for a public inquest and proper scrutiny of the same. Today, after examining major commitment, and this is evidence. Today, after examining every major commitment against this evidence, the verdict is unmistakable. The plan has failed. It is hollow and deceptive. In conclusion, when the plan failed, Kenyans were told that the answer lay in Adigo. It too has failed to deliver the hope, unity, and reforms that were promised. Thereafter came the 10-point agenda, presented as a renewed roadmap to rescue the country. It has equally failed to change the trajectory of our nation. In failing the plan, the administration has failed to keep Kenya on the development path envisioned under Kenya Vision 2030. The question before the people of Kenya is therefore simple. If the author of the plan could not deliver the plan, if NADCO has failed to provide solutions, if the 10-point agenda has failed to change the country's direction, what reason do Kenyans have to expect a different outcome after 2027? You have all heard William Ruto constantly accusing the opposition of having no plan. I ask Kenyans instead to look at his track record. He came up with a bottom-up economic plan. As we have seen, it has failed. He came up with NADCO. He has failed to deliver. He came up with the 10-point agenda. He has failed to deliver. He came up with the Singapore. It has failed. And now, before he has honored a single promise and his commitments, he is now asking us to believe and trust him to come up with another plan, Vision 2060, or the way he is calling, Beyond Vision 2030. Plan after plan, promise after promise, each one designed to distract from the fact that there has been no implementation of the last. From bottom up to Singapore, to Vision 2060 or Beyond Vision 2030, William Ruto has mastered the language of plans. Whenever he is asked to account for what he has actually done, because he has no answer, he simply points to the next horizon. The harsh truth is he does not have the capacity to deliver. You cannot fail today and ask us to trust you tomorrow for some distant, far future engagement. Based on your performance, Kenyans don't want to hear about Vision 2030 or Beyond 2030. They want to know one thing. What will you deliver in the 364 days between today and the next election? Of all the promises you have already made, which ones can we expect you to keep? That will be your marking scheme 1 year from today. And Kenyans are doing you a favor. They are letting you set that marking scheme yourself. They are not making their own demands. They are just using your own commitments as a standard. So when the day comes, you should have nothing to complain about. Leadership is judged by results, not by promises. Governments earn another term through performance, not through visions and persuasion. That is why millions of Kenyans are saying one term. One term is not a slogan of anger. It is a verdict on performance. It is a democratic conclusion that one term has been enough because the promises made have not been kept. Exactly 1 year from today, on 10th August 2027, we shall go to the polls as a nation. Let us choose accountability over excuses, delivery over promises, and leadership that honors its covenant with the people. As Mr. William Ruto launches his deceptive 2060 plan tomorrow, I want to tell the people of Kenya that it is a lie, it is a con, it is a fraud, it is deceit. I urge all Kenyans from across the country to join in the liberation struggle that kickstarts his 364-day action plan to restore the dignity of our beloved motherland. As William Ruto launches his lie and deception tomorrow, I lead the people of Kenya in launching today a 364-day action plan to restore the dignity of our beloved motherland, Kenya. May God bless you. May God bless the Republic of Kenya. Thank you. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So, apparently, I didn't think I would sit for the whole interview, for the whole press briefing, but I have sat. I think it's 2 hours 41 minutes. So my guy, this is very very unfortunate. Very 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 unfortunate. Very. First of all, I did not vote for President William Ruto, and I do not have an intention of voting. And for this message from Gachagua, I'm actually on Gachagua this. So one time, this is just some backward third world news. Hmm? What is this you have been here? What was that press briefing from? Huh? Just to hear there someone has gotten money from the government. Hmm? What a shame! What a shame! What a shame! The leader of the hustlers. And I knew that's why I never voted for this guy. I knew this is what this is what he was going to do, and I knew it. So guys, let me try to let me stop here for now. But guys, just this is just beyond. If you're gonna watch this thing before 2027, just ask yourself one thing: like, why are you voting for it? With all this money this guy has? Tell me, what amount of money have you personally gotten to justify the fact that he's going to get twice what he has now? Hmm? And you're busy saying two term. My guy, reason. Okay, if you're not employed in the government offices, in the higher up government offices, where this kind of money is reaching you, and even those guys are getting peanuts. They're just mouthpieces. They're getting peanuts. Even to get 300 million from this guy right now, and is willing to put you because that you're seeing what he's doing. This is just. I saw another MP saying that she has 100 million, and obviously you know where the money is from, and she's so proud. She's like, I have now 100 million for campaigning, and now she's so sure she's going to waste that money into campaigns, and she's going to get. Can you see the confidence in these people? Not because you have 100 million, you're so sure Huh? You're going to waste it and you have something behind. Hmm? This is the kind of caliber of politicians you're going to vote for. So Kenyans, don't blame yourselves when it comes next year and you vote for these guys. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone. You deserve it. If you don't pull up your socks, Kenyans as Kenyans, and vote good leaders, these guys are going to misuse everything that you give them. They go until now, until 2027, they're going to use every opportunity they have to take even more. And the next day, if you give them more chances, they're going to take even more. So I don't really get Kenyans how they think. But you tell me in the comments, is Gachagua right? Is Ruto right? Or are we just, or personally, am I just ranting for no reason? Hmm? And Gachagua is wrong and Ruto is right. Hmm? Tell me in the comments. I truly do appreciate your brother here, Kiddy Studios. Kindly like, subscribe, tell me in the comments. I'm gonna clip some of this and put it in the long form. We see what's up. But anyway, guys, this has been a really shocking and eye-opening video for me. I didn't think Gachagua was gonna drop bars like this, but this man, hey my G, this is just wrong, wrong, wrong. Have you heard wrong? This is wrong. This is wrong, my G. This is just wrong, my guy. No, this is wrong. No, no. I cannot stand here. I have a child. I cannot stand here and start saying that. Listen to this guy. What do you mean? Listen to this guy. After all of what do you mean? Listen to this guy. You as you have a sound mind. He's the president, but I owe him the decency of just listening to him as a president. Just he can see what he wants to say. That office is not his. The duties that he requires to do are for Kenyans. They are not his duties. They're not his. Those are not personal duties. This is not your house, bruh. So, hmm, so unfortunate. You cannot create even industries with all this money. Hmm. Eh. Yeah, that's your president for you. Kind of like, tell me what you think in the comments about your honorable, your most distinguished president. I'd like to hear what's your verdict on this, so that I know. So thanks for everything. Can like, subscribe. I truly do appreciate everything. Your boy over here, Kiddy Studios, always blessed and humbled to always have this opportunity. For those who want to go and vote two-term, kindly go vote. For those who don't want to vote, please don't vote. Thanks. Thank you very much. But I just think we have to, as Kenyans, we have to look for a better alternative. This is not the alternative, my G. Mm-mm. 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 Anyway, peace out. Like, kindly like, subscribe, share, follow. I truly do appreciate a lot, a lot, a lot.